So welcome to the lectures of research methodology, that is paper number 4, optional paper, and within that we will see the unit number 2, that is the data analysis. Okay, so unit number 2 is the data analysis, and in this data analysis unit we will try to define the various terms or the various methods in order to eliminate the errors that we will come across into the experiments. Okay, so in order to eliminate that errors we will follow certain protocols. Okay, we can say that, like, when we are doing the experiment we are following certain procedure. Okay, but even if we do the same experiment by using same procedure, we are not going to get the same results. Okay, so we have come across such type of, like, uh, errors. Okay, errors are there for the specific experiment. So how we can eliminate these errors, or basically we are first going to understand what the errors and how that errors are obtained in the experiment, and how we can eliminate that errors in the given experiment. Okay, so we will try to see this in the this data analysis. Okay, and for this data analysis we will mainly focusing on the various mathematical terms and also the formulas which will be used repeatedly. Also we will use some basic terms like mean, median, or some average term, accuracy, precision. Okay, so all of these things are quite familiar in the analytical chemistry of our TYBSc syllabus. Okay, so that things only we will use the same things for the improvement of our results. Okay, so first of all, basic thing is, or the basic question that arises is, why we need to perform the experiment. Okay, so why we need to perform the experiment, that is the basic question. So for performing the experiment we will be, like, requiring certain output from that experiment. Okay, and suppose we are doing the certain, like, volumetric experiment. So for volumetric estimation of like general, say, acid base estimation, so in order to standardization we will be required to measure the volumes, or say volumes of our acids or base. Okay, and in order to standardize the given base, it is suppose NaOH versus HCl standardization is there. Okay, so suppose I am having NaOH versus HCl standardization, or HCl volumetric estimation. So there I need to standardize this NaOH in order to find out the exact normality of the HCl. Okay, in order to find out the exact normality of HCl I need to standardize NaOH. So for this purpose, which type of measurements are necessary? So first of all, for standardization of this NaOH I will be requiring certain acid, like we generally use what, succinic acid. So for this preparation of our succinic acid we will be required to take the weight on the weighing balance. Okay, first we need to take the weight of this succinic acid. Okay, so this is the one parameter that we need to measure. Then second parameter is what, then the second parameter is the volume of this NaOH. Okay, volume of this NaOH required. So how will you measure that? We cannot measure by using the measuring cylinder or, say, beaker as such. Okay, so we use the burette. Here we use the specifically burette, and for the exact volumes we get the for HCl we generally pipette out by using the pipette. Okay, so there we are using the various apparatus or instrument which will be useful for the accurate measurement. Okay, for the accurate measurement of our given substance. Okay, so if it is in the liquid we will be measure it by using the burette or pipette, and if it is in the solid state we will be measure it by using the weighing balance. Okay, this weighing balance. So again we have know that this weighing balance are also having the various types. Okay, so depending upon the least count of that instrument. Okay, we are going to have the different type of uh, list count for the specific instrument. So, like, it will be, like, shows the readings up to, say, zero point 0.1 gram. Okay, so this is the list count. Okay, for the specific measurement device or the weighing balance, or some might be showing you the result up to 0.01 gram, okay, or some might shows you the result up to 0.001 gram, or simply we can say that 1 milligram, okay. So this is the accurate for our PG level practicals, okay. So we will require the at least up to milligram level instrument for the accurate measurement, okay. So for rough practicals we generally tend to use this type of weighing balance, but for accurate measurements we have to use this type of instrument which will be having the least count of around 1 milligram, okay, 1 milligram. So once we have got to idea about the that what exactly that weight is there that we need to weigh, okay. So once we have got to idea about that weight, so there are the certain another parameters like environment or some fluctuation in the power or electricity, okay, or the moisture content in the air, or the wind in the surroundings, okay, or the observers ability to observe the like readings, okay. So all these parameters or all these variables, okay, all these parameters or all these variables will affect the overall estimation of our readings, okay, overall estimation of our readings. So there are the certain errors, okay. So we have seen this error might be the instrumental personal error, okay. So based upon the type of error we'll get to the change in the true value or the exact value that we need to measure. So what are the various types of errors or variables that will alter the value of our estimation? So for that, like the entity is assumed to be having the value, but we get the various types of value if we observed by using some another parameters, okay. So some example of these measurements are like for measurement of our like length of rat tail or the number of seeds, okay. So these are the certain general examples. So instead of taking the experimental example, here we are seeing the some general examples. So here the length of rat tail can be measured by using the scale, okay. The number of seeds in the seed pod can be measured by using our simple counting method. Then phosphate concentration we have to use the titration method. Then for color of a fish, so this is again depending upon the person's eye, okay. Each person might see the color variations, okay. So this is also one variable. Then ranking of how well you feel, so this is also will depends upon your like stability of that particular person, okay. So how much that person is having the stability at particular instance, that will tell you how he is feeling right now. So broad way we can classify the variables as the quantitative variables or the derived variables or the character variables, okay. So in the broad manner we can like classify the variables like quantitative, then derived variables, and last one is the character variables. Another type of uh, classification is that within the quantitative variables we can say certain variables which are continuous, certain variables which are not continuous or discontinuous, and some variables which are giving the ranks to the particular observations. So continuous variables are like what, length or weight or time, temperature, okay. So we get the range of that particular variable over a given variables, means what, length is having certain value from say suppose 0 to 5 centimeters. So within that range only we are going to get the observed values, okay. So now certain there is a discontinuity. So the discontinuity is example is that the number of fish in the given area or the number of seed in the seed pods. Now ranking is based upon the quality of our result, obtained result. So we can say that given result is either 1 star, 2 star, okay. As such we can give the rank to that particular result. Now that is the quantitative variables. Now next is the derived variables. So how will you know that derived variables? Like derived variables are those which are not directly obtained, okay. So for derived variables we will be requiring the two variables, okay, different two variables. Like for density we'll require what, What is density? Density is mass per unit volume. Okay, mass per unit volume. So mass is measured in kg, volume is what? Either in centimeter or meter cube. Say meter cube. Okay, so if we use the two different variables or obtaining the one single variable, we will see there that we will say that it is a derived variable. Okay, derived variable. Now next is the character variable. So character variable will depends upon the character of that particular species. Okay, so it will be either gender or color. Okay, as such. So these are the certain variables like quantitative variables, and then derived variables, and last one is the character variables. Okay. So in order to have that variables, we have seen that there are the like confusion in between, like the length can be have the various units. Okay, like centimeter, meter, or inches. Okay, so how will you like distinguish that from the each other? Okay, so for that we'll use the system of measure. Okay, system of measurements. So in general there are two types of system of measurements which we come across. One is the English or American type of, and another one is the metric system or the SI system. Okay, so we are quite familiar with this system. Okay, that is metric system or the SI unit, and we generally use this type of units only in the regular measurements. Okay, so what is the difference between this English and metric system, that we'll see. Okay, so here you can see that here there is a millimeter, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter. Okay, as such. So these centimeters or meter terms is related with the SI unit. Okay, that is European system. And if we consider the inches or the feet system, okay, inches system or the feet system, so 12 inches is 1 feet. Okay, so this is known to us, that is 12 inches. Okay, specifically is equals to 1 feet. Okay, so if we use this type of system, this system corresponds to the American or the English system. Okay, so how will you like exactly say that two systems are different from each other? Okay, so based upon the various variables that we are come across, and the units that given for the given variable, we can say that the given system is being expressed in the either American system or the European system. Okay, so what are the various disadvantages for the American or the this English system? So for deriving the variables on this American system, there is no standard base value for each kind of measurement. Okay, there is no standard base values for the measurements. Okay, so if we want to like have the base values, then we will certainly arrive the some common factor which we can use for the derivation of the higher order okay variables. So for the another disadvantage is that the subunits within the units which are not based upon the constituent some multiplication factor. Okay, so we can say that like this is okay obvious, like 12 feet is, oh sorry, 12 inches is 1 feet. Okay, 1 feet. But if you want to like convert this 12 feet or 12 inches into yards, okay, this another one is unit is there, yards. Okay, so this yard is quite familiar with the like cricketing field. Okay, so for the cricketing field we will use the 22 yards pitch. Okay, so that variables are different for uh, different countries. Okay, so this all these conversion factors from means inches to feet and then feet to yards, all these converging factors does not find the continuation in their multiplication. Okay, so there is no common multiplication factor based upon which we can directly find out. Means suppose we remember the one value, that is say 12 feet or 12 inches is 1 feet. Okay, so based upon that we cannot get the all the values, we need to define the each and every variables by using certain multiplication factor. So we have to remember all the variables. Okay, so this is the big disadvantages of the this English system. Then in order to get convert, we have to use the rigorous like that multiplication factors. Okay, so it makes the make it difficult for the interconversion between various units. Okay, so we need to remember the multiplication parameters for each different units. So that makes it is quite difficult for the um, making the result familiar with all. Okay, and what is the advantage of this English system? So the advantage is that we already know these systems. Okay, so basically these systems are like in our general life we are generally using these systems. Okay, means day to day life we are like measuring the distance in the miles or say um, or inches. Okay, so for generally we uses these variables. So these systems are quite known to us, but if we measure it for the scientific purpose, then we will come across to a lot of confusion. So in order to remove that lot of confusions, we tend to use the SI unit of system. Okay, SI unit of system. And the disadvantage is that like for English system we have the advantage that we already know that systems. Okay, because we generally use that system in the day to day life. Then for this SI system the disadvantage is contrast to that advantage of English system, that is we have to first learn this system. Okay, we have to learn these systems. So how we can learn this system? So for learning of this system we will be requiring certain basic knowledge of our various parameters or various variables which are comes as the basic variables. Okay, basic or the base unit. So for each variable there is certain base unit that we must know, and once we get to idea about this base unit for the each variable, we can derive the all the values for the higher order or the lower order okay measurements. So for advantages, we can say that it uses the certain base unit for the each type of measurement. Then the subunits or the super units of the base units are multiple of the tens. Okay, so multiple of the tens. Then conversions are quite easier. Okay, conversions are quite easier. So here we are seeing the various example for the metric system, like so it is kilometer. Okay, higher metric systems are showing here. So kilometer is there, then hectometer, that is 10 raised to 2, then decameter, that is 10 raised to 1, then standard, that is base unit is what for the meter system, the base unit is 1 meter, that is 10 raised to 0. Okay, so here we are seeing that the higher units or the lower units are the multiples in the tens value. Then next is the decimeter. Okay, this is decameter, this is deci means -1, 10 raised to -1 or the 0.1 meter. Then centimeter is there, 10 raised to -2 meter. Okay, milliliter, that is 10 raised to -3 meters. Okay, so all of these systems uses the same type of base unit, and they are the integral or the multiples of 10. So we need not to be remember the multiplication factor for each and every conversion. Okay, so for each and every conversion we just need to have the idea about how much tens power that is converted from one particular units to the another particular unit. Now next is the, so regardless of the unit, the entire metric system uses the same prefix. Okay, so even if we are having the say units of meter or say okay or kg. Okay, so for means this will measure the length, this will measure the weight of the system. Okay, weight of the system. So even if we are having the various units, the entire metric system will uses the same type of prefix. Okay, so for kilogram or say basic unit for the gram is okay, basic unit for the our weight system is the gram. So if we are having the meter or say gram, and if you want to find out the it's 1000 part. Okay, 1000 part, so we'll simply put the kilo in front of that unit, base unit, so we will get the kilometer or the kilogram. But the only thing that we need to understand is that for kilo we need to have the certain 10 raised to 3 base. Okay, 10 raised to 3 base. So this entire metric system uses the same type of prefixes for all the variables. Okay, same type of prefixes for all the variables.